The legendary Bob Huggins is somebody who does not need to be introduced in the state of West Virginia or much anywhere around the country. What we're doing today is extremely special, talking about not only Hugs and his documentary, but talking to his legendary players and the director of his new documentary, Beyond the Bench. You guys will not be disappointed in this one. Stick around. This is Locked On West Virginia.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host here. Welcome back in the Locked On West Virginia, baby. Well, we're talking Mountaineer hoops today, a little bit of Cincinnati hoops today, but mostly it's centered on Bob Huggins. And why wouldn't it be the legendary Bob Huggins, as we all have come to know and love over the years, is a great topic to talk about, and we're excited to be doing so. Before we get started, we have to recognize the channel sponsor today, guys, and this one's going to be brought to you by Mazda. And right now, guys, with Mazda, it's pretty simple. We put that same drive into every detail. And when wins define the moment, which putting in the work, which defines you. So stay tuned for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward, where there's more to a Mazda because there's more to you. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen and for being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where we're going to be talking about your team, the Mountaineers. And listen, appreciate you guys for being here every single day, where we're doing 55 million views a month at Locked On, the number one sports podcast company in the world right now. Hard to believe considering all the other major names that are out there. I'm not alone on this one. This one's an exciting one, guys. And I'm going to introduce these guys individually, then we're just going to bring them all at once. So we've got the director of the documentary Beyond the Bench with Bob Huggins, Alan Hilsinger, and he'll correct me on the exact full name of the documentary. I may have missed the full name, but I know it's called Beyond the Bench. We're talking with Corey Blount. Just a guy that obviously, if you didn't watch the 92 team that fell short, we all know about Kenyon Martin. We all know about the leg. We know about Van Exel. We know about all those great Cincinnati teams with Steve Logan beyond that, and everybody that's a part of that culture that Hugs helped build. Obviously, he played in the NBA for years with the Bulls. He's going to be here. And then the legendary Truck Bryant. Obviously, you want to talk about bad luck. Deshaun Butler, Truck Bryant both get hurt during the Final Four run. And what could have been. It's just the ultimate what if. And it's almost like, man, how snake bitten could a guy be? And we've got two guys on here that can talk about just that. So let's bring them on, guys. We're going to talk with three guys here, me and myself included, being four. And we got to get on here and talk with all four of these guys: Truck Bryant, Alan Hilsinger, and Corey Blount. How you doing, guys?
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
Thanks for having me.
What are these other two guys doing here?
I snuck them in. Yeah, only you were invited, Alan, but or so you thought.
Man, you never know with these guys.
Okay, so this is an honor, right? So thank you guys so much. Obviously, Truck Bryant is a legend. There's no way to put that in West Virginia spaces. Corey is a legend. I remember the outrage when you didn't even get an opportunity to at least interview for the Cincinnati job, Corey, when that came open, and how a lot of people were upset for that. And I can totally understand that. Truck, man, it's going to be great to catch up with you. And Alan, thanks for all this. So I think I'm going to start here. Obviously, this is about Bob Huggins. We will venture into some personal territory at some point, but let's start. This is about Hugs, right? And this is about what he means to everybody. Not just West Virginia, not just Cincinnati, Kansas State and obviously Akron and everywhere in Kent State and anywhere he's been in between. Obviously, he didn't coach at Kent State, but I'm just saying anywhere in between, right? Any college you can think of that he was a part of in the state of, he made an impact. And I think at the end of the day, whether it was in Ohio or in West Virginia or in Kansas, Bob Huggins made an impact. That's for sure. And I think the first question for me is why now, right? Why? That's one of the questions I sent to you guys is why now? Why this documentary now?
It's time. The whole mentality behind this, Paul, was that I thought it was necessary as an independent filmmaker to explain and tell the story of why guys that he coached 35 years ago still call him every week, still call him a father, still love him. And what you'll see during the documentary is that theme comes out. Every player has their hysterical stories about him. Every player has their disciplinary stories about him. But what comes out more than anything is how much they really love the guy. And to me, being a Cincinnati fan and growing up and going to school there and all these things and following this team and this program, religiously, it was just time knowing that I had the tools to tell his legacy piece. Now you got to remember, it's not a Cincinnati or West Virginia documentary. It's a start from birth Bob Huggins documentary.
Right.
Until now. And so it was it's been a real pleasure, but I just wanted people to see the side of him that so many people know that the public probably doesn't know. And he was accepting to it. And thankfully for all of us and for him, and it's turned out incredibly good. So we're really proud of it.
Obviously, Corey and Truck, you guys played for Bob Huggins. Obviously, quite a few years apart, but I'm assuming he was just as tough and just as hard and just as loving at the same time on either of you. And I would love to hear from you guys. What made you? And I'm sure I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but it sounds like it probably wasn't even a question of whether if you would help with this documentary, it was just going to happen. I'm assuming. Is that the way I'm framing it? Is that right? Like as far as if they want you to be in it, you're going to do it, right?
No question for me. I want to give a shout out to the Mountaineer Nation. For me, it was a no-brainer, man. It gave me an opportunity to give Coach Huggins his flowers at a time when he can really witness himself and just have a part to be able to do what I can do to kind of express how much he means to me and the rest of the guys that's in our family, as far as the Cincinnati family. We always wanted to do something to kind of recognize him on a personal level. And when Alan brought it to me, I just thought it was a phenomenal idea and a good opportunity to be a part of something that could be legendary.
And of course, shout out to Cincy, and of course, shout out to my school, West Virginia. That was a no-brainer for me. As soon as Alan let me know, and DeMar Johnson was actually still in town, and that was a no-brainer for me. It was like a father figure to me, so I was doing that regardless.
Absolutely. I don't want to say you were the first, but you were one of the first, Truck, of those New York tough guards that, we come to know and love under Hugs and under his leadership at West Virginia. It seemed like it was a staple on any good West Virginia team. There was always a New York type kid on that team that was tough as nails, right? I feel like you kind of spearheaded that, or one of the first guys. Maybe there was a guy before you, but I mean, obviously, as far as Hugs goes, there weren't many classes there, if any, before you. So I think you were, a big part of that, and it's interesting to see how that also happened over the. There was always seemed to be a New York guy, didn't there?
Well, you was right, because I am the first one under Hugs at West Virginia. I was the first one,
right?
So for me, it's been to be real with you, it's been a pleasure, because all the guys that came after me that was from New York. I knew them in some type of way. You know what I mean? So it was good to start that off, and then me, Kevin Jones, and Devin Ebanks coming in together made it a lot easier for me. Yeah, no, it was a crazy class. I think it was like number 4 in the country. So that was a crazy class to come in with. But besides that, it was just good to see the guys after me coming in, and I got a couple from Brooklyn, Tavon Myers and Tariq Phillips. So that was kind of cool to have after me.
Defensive dogs, man. Defensive dogs for sure. So, I would love to know, like, what did you guys learn about Hugs during this process? Because, I'm assuming, and you told me, Alan, you guys had to the whole gambit, right? You were probably, you were touching on things with him that you've never asked him before, right? So what was it like learning about Bob Huggins along the way through this? Because I'm sure there were some things that probably shocked you at times that you probably didn't have any clue about.
Well,
I had been around him somewhat when he was here in Cincy. Did not get to know him as intimately as I have through this last year and I guess a year and a half long process. But the biggest thing to me is that the nickname Huggy Bear applies because he's the nicest guy, the funnest guy in the world to be around. I never played basketball for him, so I never personally experienced that side of it. But from what we've done, it's just a pleasure being around him. And I've learned how much guys like Truck, guys like Corey, guys like the 40 other people we interviewed, like sincerely care about the man and appreciate the impact he has had on their lives and their growth and how he helped them become a man. They came in as a kid and they became men, and how much they care about him. And that's the thing that I think is the coolest part. And for good reason, because that's what we set out to do. I mean, that was the whole point of doing this. It's not, we could go do a documentary on anybody somewhere. It doesn't matter. But we got to get the inside view on him, and with guys, of course, with Corey and Truck and a bunch of other guys that helped us out along the way. Just the thought, devotion they have to this man. And it's understandable once you spend a bunch of time around him. You understand why.
Corey and Truck, what's the most misunderstood thing about Bob Huggins? I'll let you guys, you can think about it for a second if you need to.
No, for me, it's easy, man. The fact that he really cares about his players and he puts them first. And I know that's kind of like a cliche thing to say far as a coach, but when you got a guy that really expresses that and shows you that, not just on the court and off the court, but beyond the years of when you're playing for him, to me, that's what makes him special. I mean, he always kept in contact with me. He was always supportive in mostly anything I wanted to do. He was an advisor and a mentor for me. So it was easy for me to see the value in what Coach brought, even while he was recruiting me, while I played for him, and even after I played for him.
And same, I'm gonna go with the same thing Corey said. That's my guy. Like, obviously we still talk nowadays. I still stop by his house. So he just always been supportive of me. And I still to this day, I played for him 15 years ago. You know what I mean? So it's like,
it's hard to believe.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, and it's hard to believe it's been that long. I said, "Damn, I'm starting to get old." I know he is, but I am too.
Yeah, well, it's been crazy to see, like, the pictures of him when he first got hired, the baby face hugs, kind of, coming over from K-State. He was, I think, approaching 50, maybe even early 50s whenever he got that job, but he didn't look it, and then over the course of time, he started aging, and not anything bad. I'm just saying, it's just time went by, right? And it's you look now and it's like, personally, he looks, if he didn't have the beard, he would look the same to me, right? Like that. Like when I look at him now, he would look the same to me if he didn't have the beard grown out. So, at the end of the day, guys, I guess time passes by and things happen and people move on from things, but man, I don't know. This has been a tough time for West Virginia fans to be in, because we've had no direction we're on 4 coaches in 4 years now. Wow. There's been no stability post Bob Huggins. He set the standard for what stability is in West Virginia and at Cincinnati. I don't think either program's really settled on a coach. Mick Cronin was pretty good, but and I definitely don't want to say he wasn't, but has anybody come even close to what the standard of Bob Huggins? No. And how can you? So, the legendary figure that he was, it's just, and still is, obviously, but like at the time when he was coach. So we got to get to a break here. We've got a few more questions for these guys, and absolutely want to get some times and hopefully some dates nailed down. I don't know if they're prepared to give that, but we'll try and ask anyway, guys. Give us just a second. We'll be right back here on Locked On West Virginia right after the break. All right, guys, this episode is going to be brought to you by our friends at Mazda. And like we said with Mazda, if you didn't know, now you're going to know, right? We're still talking about Mazda being the time to get moving. And Mazda is always moving the game forward. For those who know, there's more to the score than what's on screen. Let's hear Miss Boston talk about that right now.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kalia Butler, host of Locked On Women's Basketball, and this is Mazda's Women's Basketball Snapshot, celebrating the work no highlight reel can ever capture. The WNBA has released its 2026 schedule featuring a 44-game regular season beginning on Friday, May 8th. The league's historic 30th season includes expansion teams Portland Fire and the Toronto Tempo, with opening weekend highlights such as Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever hosting Paige Beckers and the Dallas Wings, and a rematch of the 2025 finals between the Aces and the Mercury. In college hoops, South Carolina handed Vanderbilt its first loss of the season with a dominant 103-74 win. These moments are earned off the clock, those long before the lights ever come on. The sweat, the fakes, the doubt, the scrapes, and coming back for more every time. Mazda puts the same drive into every detail. Wins define the moment. Putting in the work, that defines you. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you.
All right, we are back with our friends, and thank you guys so much again for joining here and being a part of this. This is truly an honor, like I said, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I mean, I really am honored that you guys will come on here and talk about a guy like Bob Huggins, who, to be honest, is a hero to so many of us. So I think, for me, I want to get into some of the Final Four stuff, if that's okay, really quick. Obviously, you guys were a part of some just amazing teams in your lives, I'm sure, high school, probably post-career. But what was it about, those two teams? Because, obviously both teams experienced great, just snake-bitten moments, but also great moments of just joy and success. And I'm curious, when it comes to the 92 team, and Truck, when it comes to your team and the foot and everything that happened. I mean, I would love to know from both of you guys, especially personally, you, Truck, like what that was like having to sit out for that run. I mean, and how did Hugs handle it and all that? If you can tie a Hugs thing in there as well.
It's funny. You want to go first, C Blount?
You finish it up.
You go first, C Blount, because I was 2 years old when y'all went.
Yeah, but I think it'd be good for them for you to finish it up, and I can speak on the early Hugs because we had Hugs when he was young.
Okay.
To me, he was a little more fiery in a sense where he could actually kind of back up some of the words he was saying to us back then. I think the Truck and them got him. He was a little older, and if he was talking about whooping somebody, I think Truck and them could have beat him up pretty good. So, back when he was talking about challenging us, he thought he could really probably beat one of us. So that was the difference for us. And just being on that team, man, coming to Cincinnati, we had just a phenomenal run because no one expected us to do any of the things that we accomplished that year. I kind of coined us the Rodney Dangerfield of college basketball. We didn't get
no respect.
No respect. And taking it to the Final Four and doing it like we did that year, and then identifying the style that we played. I think that's what really made Hugs famous because we were a defensive-minded team and we were able to carry that persona on all the way to the Final Four. So I think when Truck and them also made the run they did, it was the same personification, tough-minded defensive teams that really got in you, and then they were able to carry on that legacy for Coach Hugs.
And that 1-3-1 that came out of nowhere that year as well.
Yeah. Yep. So they took it to Press Virginia and really personified it after we did what we did.
Yeah.
Well, it all started with them. Obviously, I always got respect for the guys that was before me, and those guys were freak athletes, hell of a players. Like, you know what I mean? So it was a big thing. And for us, it was kind of the same thing. Defensive-minded team. Hugs used to go crazy on us, but we know that he meant business on the court, off the court. Greatest dude you're gonna meet. But for us, that Final Four, we just felt like rock stars. It's no pro teams in West Virginia, so it's a lot different than it was for Corey and them. But I mean, it was probably one of the best. I'm not gonna say probably. It was the best time of my life, man. It was crazy. I mean, obviously, minus getting hurt, breaking my foot. I'm flying on but I did enjoy the process. I'm flying on private jets to try to play in the game and everything, trying to get something made for my foot. So that was a fun time. But I mean, overall, the best time of my life.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, and Alan, maybe you can touch on this as well. What did Hugs have to say about these times? And obviously, I know you told me on the phone. It's a great line. Every time we would get something going, something bizarre would happen. Right? That's the line you told me on the phone. I would love to hear you expand on that.
Yeah, I mean, his question was why? Why? Every time we'd get something going, something crazy would happen. He said, I never understood it. Why does Kenyon break his leg? Not Kenyon. He worked so hard. He spent so much time, he put so much time in. Why? Why does Deshaun go down in the Final Four? Why does Truck break his foot? Why? Why does this happen? And Hug, look, his repertoire, it speaks for itself. 935 wins, third time winningest coach in NCAA history, Hall of Famer. So nobody has to come to his defense on that side of it.
Right.
But his thing was, to me, and in some of the interviews, is why? Why? We were just snake bitten when we were really, really good. I mean, you think about Kenyon Martin's 2000 team, number one ranked in the country, going to get the number one seed. You got the best player in the country. You got Dermar Johnson, who's also a lottery pick as a freshman off that team.
Yeah. You're
going to go beat everybody. And there's no way you're not going to win the whole thing. Kenyon goes down. Why? That's the way he looks at it. And it's still, he'll say that it doesn't bother him. But you can tell when he talks about it that it does, because you can see it a little bit in his eyes. And I don't think he believes he left anything on the table, but I believe that from being around him so much that he just wishes one or two things that would have worked out better, because he had the best players. And it was just something freak that would take place. And it's out of his control. And I think that's the part that really bothers him. But he's doing great, and he's happy, and he's proud of everybody, and he loves his guys, loves them, and always thinks about them, always talks about them, always asks about them. But that's the biggest thing, is why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, obviously, look at that West Virginia roster. Obviously, it was Joe Mazzulla, and it was Truck Bryant, right? And it was Dennis Kalikla, and it was Kevin Jones, and it was Devin Ebanks, Deshaun Butler, Wellington Smith, John Flowers, all those guys. Even Cam Thurman, who was good a few years later, became a good player. It's just, he was kind of like the Nate Adrian before Nate Adrian, right? Before Nate Adrian, So what a roster. And I really appreciate Hugs and everything that he did, and I always felt like, he's probably going to be looked at like a Dan Marino, right? One of the best that ever did it, that just never won the chip. That's what to me, that's what he is. He's the best that never won one. And that's a pretty good place to be, right? And maybe you shouldn't classify it that way. Maybe you just classify him as one of the best ever. But, people will categorize it that way going forward. It's like we only lost Truck here. But, we'll go to one more quick break. Oh, there he is. He's back. We'll go to one more quick break anyway.
Somebody called me. I don't know. It just went out.
It knocked you off. That's okay. No big deal. We got one more break here, and then we'll go to our last segment right after the break with you guys. Thank you so much for the patience.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, guys, we're going to be brought to you by our friends at Wayfair on this one as well. And if you didn't know about Wayfair, you should find out, because the new year is here, and it's the perfect time to reset your routine and refresh your space. If you're spending more time at home, you might as well love how it looks. And that's why you should turn to Wayfair. It's a one-stop shop for getting your home back on track. From bedding and mattresses to storage solutions for every room, Wayfair makes it easy to start the year fresh. Wayfair has everything you need for a full home refresh, all in one space and place. And whether you're updating your living room, organizing your space, or upgrading your work from home, Wayfair's huge selection makes it easy to find exactly what works for your style and for your budget. It honestly made getting back into a routine this year a lot more manageable. So if you want to get organized, refreshed, and back on track this year for new, anything less than Wayfair is not going to work. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com today. Wayfair, every style and every home. And of course, our friends at TurboTax are going to say hello as well. And why wouldn't they? Obviously, with TurboTax, you guys know it's tax season, and whether that makes you happy or sad, I guess it depends on what you made. So, tax season doesn't have to take over your life. This year, TurboTax is making it easier than ever just to hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax full service, you can have your taxes done for you by a trusted local expert, start to finish, without the stress or guesswork. And instead of spending hours trying to figure out forms, you can meet with local TurboTax experts in person or connect online. They handle everything from W-2s to self-employed forms and work you to get every deduction you need, man. So for a limited time, you can have your taxes done by a local expert for just $150. That's all in. And if a TurboTax expert didn't file for you last year, just file by February 28th. You'll be good. Take your taxes off your plate and get back to your life, and visit TurboTax.com/local. Get the TurboTax today. All right. We are back with, just a bunch of legends here, man. What can I say? Alan,
maybe two other legends. I don't know so much about me.
Well, hey, look, man, you never know. After this documentary comes out, you might be a legend and alongside everybody else. So, I mean, I consider you one, man. You're able to orchestrate all this. You got to have some kind of pull, brother.
Alan the legend.
Alan's a legend. So,
hey,
Corey.
Right. Corey, I'm going to start charging for my autographs now.
It'd be worth it after this documentary.
Yeah.
For real.
So, I wrote, this is one of the questions I had written out. What would you, if you had to label it, Alan, and maybe this isn't a fair way to phrase this, but, what is the thesis of this documentary to you? You talked about it's just the life of Bob Huggins, but like, if you had to label it, if I forced you to, is it legacy? Is it accountability, redemption, complicated ending, all of the above? What would you say?
I'd say I checked the D box on that. It's
complicated ending.
It's got everything. And two, I would be remiss if I didn't mention, hey, Cincinnati basketball's facilities wouldn't be what they are today without what
we can definitely say the same thing.
The football stadium wouldn't be what it is today. Nippert Stadium, which is an incredible place to watch a football game, wouldn't be the same. I can go all over to West Virginia, to Morgantown, and say the same thing. Without Hugs and his not only his money raising, but his influence and how he is able to get people of means, correct, to do things to help out these institutions is, to me, as a guy that needs to raise money for what we do, it's astonishing how he does that. I mean, I don't know how he does it. And then also let's look at his charitable stuff, right? His mother's foundation and Remember the Miners Foundation and things that he didn't have to do any of that. He didn't have to do any of that. He's got plenty of money. But that's just who he is. So yeah, it's a lot. Everything that you mentioned, it is. There's a ton of focus on his success. There is a little bit of discussion on some of the downfalls, but everywhere he's gone, he's won. Yeah. And he's changed programs and he's changed lives. I mean, on here with us, right? I mean, they wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for Hugs. And they love the guy. Anytime I'm at a Huggins house in Morgantown, trucks hanging around. I mean, that, and DJ when he was there, I mean, he built, I don't know the right way to phrase it, a family maybe of players. So Corey and Truck had never met until 2 weekends ago. And they just went, whoop. That's the kind of guys that he built. That's the mentality that he built. And to me,
that's interesting.
It's cool to see because I recognize what influence he's had over people some 30 years later, 35 years later. I don't know, 10 years later. It doesn't matter. But
let me add to that also, because this is the thing. I can honestly say that I felt that people in Cincinnati cared for Bob Huggins. But when he got the job at West Virginia, I could see that they loved Bob Huggins. When I would go to those games, man, and see the fan interactions and then how how the players responded to him. I knew he carried on what he started at Cincinnati, West Virginia, but I just saw it at a whole nother level at West Virginia. I don't know if it was because he was at home or
Yeah.
of being an alumnus from there, but you could just sense the true passion and love that the West Virginia fan base had for him. And it was an amazing experience. Every time I would go to a game or go to his camp or go to the fish fry, I would just see that. And I felt he was very happy being there, and I saw the response back from the players and the fans as well.
It's complicated, Corey, too, and because obviously in the wake of everything, it's just probably the most unfortunate bit of all this is there's no reason, and I don't want to, I'm not trying to get any controversial or anything, but there's no reason Bob Huggins shouldn't be invited and at every home game, and for those people that say he would, cast a shadow over what people are trying to do now, it's ridiculous to me. I have to walk a line, and I just try to comment on the games and what's going on, because when it gets to Huggins, I get upset, and it's like, can't change it. So why should I, what I mean? Kind of thing. But I just wish that things would, because nobody's getting any younger here. And I would love to see some reconciliation at West Virginia. I don't know if you guys want to speak on that or not, or we can move on, but it's just tough for me as a West Virginia fan for him not to be, not that he's not welcome. I don't want to say that he's not welcome. I just, fans get I'll tell you this, fans get the feeling that maybe he's not as much right now. And whether you want to say it's the former, president or whoever, for me, it's frustrating. So, like I told you guys, I'm not a scripted kind of guy. So I just kind of let the conversation go. But, we can move on. But, I want him to have a statue. I want him to have all the things that he deserves at West Virginia. And I think he does deserve that. And it's really frustrating for me to even.
You know what? I am going to comment. I think he should be honored for everything that he's done. I think he should be thanked for building a practice facility.
Yeah.
I think he should be thanked for raising so much money for the university and also for the hospitals in West Virginia. I think he should be thanked for loving the coal miners, and he don't even know any of them. And I'm just being real. That's just my spill on it. And I just think he should be thanked and honored. And then y'all could, okay, see you later, Hugs. Thanks for everything you've done.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
It sucks, man. Like I say all the time, I'm a person in recovery, and, it's part of my platform. It's part of who I am. And if I was held to the standard of all the things I did before I changed, God, I used to joke they might bury me under the jail. So to think that, that there's the people can't forgive in this world just makes me upset.
Man.
Because I think it's a lost art, and especially when you get into places like high places like, what they have going on in those professions. So I appreciate you guys for letting me speak on that. I didn't send you that question beforehand or anything. I wasn't trying to get controversial or anything. I know this is about Bob Huggins' documentary. So last couple questions on that, and we'll bounce out of here. What is your hope for this documentary, Alan? Obviously you did it. You had the idea. I'm assuming did you have an idea for it and then go to Hugs, or was this a collaboration? I never really got to know that. Yeah. And then what is your hope for it beyond you're going to put it out, but what's your hope?
So everybody says I like to talk too much, so I'll try to keep it short. We believe it's good enough to be on ESPN 30-30. We've got 40 interviews, 3 Hall of Fame coaches, a current NBA coach in Missoula.
That's big.
A lot of famous players, Corey and Reuben Patterson and Kenyon and Javon Carter and Nikki Van Exel and Deuce McBride. We have flown all over the country putting this thing together, believe me. And we've gotten, even guys like Nick Lachey and Kevin Frazier we shot them out in LA, which Corey, we might be going back out there. So, so we think it's good enough. I've seen stuff on 30 for 30 on people that have since passed, and we didn't have that issue, thankfully, because we all love them so much. But we got to interview a lot of Hugs, spent a lot of time with him, and got his thoughts on a lot of things. It's great, and we're very proud of it. And we believe that it could go there, or someone will absolutely pick it up. Now, this isn't the only one that we have. We got another one that we're trying to sell to. So, and that's okay. We won't even have to talk about that, but it's great. It's 5-episode series. Yeah, Hugs is the doc's an hour and 50 minutes, and it covers a lot of ground. Now, the bad
greatness, an hour and 50 minutes of greatness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is, Truck, is that we had to cut so much damn stuff out of it that was really good because you got to compress it.
Yeah.
And so we're going to figure out what to do with the rest of that material. But
yeah, absolutely.
That's what we believe. And it's good enough. Believe me. I mean, he was when we showed it, Corey was there. I mean, when we Truck was there too. When we showed it to him for the first time, he'd had nothing but first thing he said to me is, "Thank you." I said, "What?" He goes, "This is so incredibly good. Thank you for doing this." I said, "Hugs, you don't have to thank me." He's like, no. It's so good. You did it so right. Thank you. And he was a little, and he wasn't the only one. He was a little.
Yeah, right.
So, that's a long answer to your short question, but it will absolutely be, people will be able to see it soon. Our premiere is going to be the weekend of April 17th. We're trying to pin down an exact location because there's some complications on scheduling with a few places, but that'll be the first time that it really becomes public. And I'm sure Corey and the boys and Truck and the boys are all going to be running around Cincinnati for a little bit, having some fun. So we look forward to it. And you know what, Paul? Why don't you show up?
I would love to, man. If I'm invited, I'll be there.
I won't even charge you.
Hey, I'll be there. Believe if there's an invitation on the table, I'll be there, brother.
All right, buddy.
Well, we need to have a premiere in West Virginia, in Morgantown, too.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah, put it in the Coliseum. I mean,
Man.
sell that thing out, 13,000, 14,000. Why not? Yeah. If Bob Huggins is there, you'll get 13,000 people there. I guarantee
it. Would surprise me.
Oh, well, if Truck can make that happen, I'm not worried about him.
Yeah, you know what? Truck's going to want to go to Mountain Mamas. There's a little plug for Mountain Mamas.
Oh, yeah. we get Mountain Mamas some business.
Hey. You guys are great, man. I could definitely see myself hanging out with you guys. This has been cool. I wish I could do it to stay on longer with you guys, but show format's the show format. I have to keep it within 30-ish minutes and we're over. So, let's get the last word really quick. If there's anything we didn't hit on that you guys would just like to say, hey, I wanted to say this, now is the time, or you can just promote, obviously, and also promote anything that needs promoting as far as social medias and things like that as well.
I got one thing I want to say. I want to thank this guy right here, Corey Blount. He's been an incredible help during this whole process, and also Alex Meacham and Dermar Johnson, and then Hug's wonderful wife, June. Those are the people that really made this happen. That's all I got to say. They've been great.
Only thing I need to say is shout out to everybody involved, both parties, and obviously shout out to Cincinnati and shout out to my school, West Virginia. And shout out to Big Dog, Coach Huggins.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'll counter those words also and say shout out to the Mountaineer Nation, because I have a ball every time I come to West Virginia. Well received, and I love Mountain Mamas. So keep showing that hospitality every time I come to West Virginia.
Yes, sir, Big Dog.
Appreciate you guys, man. I'll like I said, I'll take you up on that invitation, absolutely, and let's see what happens, man. Wishing you guys all the success in the world, and let's make ESPN regret they didn't pick this thing up. I think they will.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you've got some really intellectual and smart guys, and obviously Bob Huggins picked you guys for the most part, so that's not surprising either. So, guys, I will go ahead and let you go on that note. And Hopefully this thing is as successful as possibly can be, and you guys personally are. Do you guys have social media handles or anything that you wanted to shout out really quick?
I got Truck Bryant, and I also got Truck Bryant Cleaning Crew. I also have Truck Apartments.
Okay, cool.
We're building that whole thing right now. So
Yeah, we are.
we gotta.
I'm still working on some things too, but I'll be in West Virginia to get some deals done. So, Truck, I'll be in
Okay.
contact, man.
Hey, I
Can't wait
love
to
the
see you,
network.
Corey.
Hey, something's gonna tell me you want to drive my Suburban up there. Is that right?
Man,
Yeah,
I'll see you anytime you give it to me.
Hey, that's the best of both worlds. You get to drive a Suburban and not have to pay for the gas. Sign me up for it.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
and I don't have to drive. I can just sit there and hang out.
Hey, company card. Give him the company card, Alan.
Why you
Just
choose
put
to
trucks
think
clean.
wisely, man.
Put trucks cleaning service on the side of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that I will charge for.
All right, guys.
All right, fellas.
Thanks,
It
man.
was great talking with you. I'm gonna keep in touch with you guys if that's okay. At different, I'm listening, man. I really appreciate it. It was fun. Wishing you guys the best of luck with it.
Appreciate it, man. All right, fellas.
Good job, buddy.
See you later, guys. Hey,
you later.
thank you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the show off. You guys can go ahead and bounce if you want to. For Corey, for Truck, for Alan, you guys have been great. And have a great rest of your day. I'm gonna sign off and tell these folks bye.
All right. Appreciate you.
Thank you. All right, guys. This was really fun. And man, isn't Alan and Truck and Corey, aren't they great? And you know, can you just tell why Hugs would like these kind of guys? I know I'm gonna be supporting them. Hopefully you guys will. We'll definitely do our part, you know, even if we financially, whatever we got to do, you know, to pick up and help them. You know, we might raise a little bit of money for them or something. We'll get something rolling because I'm in support of this 100%. I would have been whether they'd come on the show or not. You know, that's just who I am. So thank you guys so much. And I'm going to go ahead and bounce out of here. Like the video before you go. Subscribe if you're new around here. And share this thing out. And I will see you on the next one. Thanks for making this your first listen. Q Country Roads.